Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of OK Boomer, the podcast, where we look at old books through the virtual spinner rack each and every week, Thursday, right around 8 ish Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching us on Twitter or Facebook, please consider joining the family over at Creators Outlet on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. This is Will.
This is Thomas.
And we are back at the virtual spinner rack this week, taking a look at Justice League International 7. A very
This was
very iconic cover with all the flags back there, and we got Guy Gardner, Batman, Rocket Red, Martian Manhunter, Black Canary, actually in her like 80s costume where
Like
she smashed through the hoop with the black bird wings coming across her chest and with the black pirate boots and the blue suit where she was all covered up. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, the two best members ever of any Justice League team, along with Captain Atom and Mr. Miracle. So it was a powerhouse team.
you forgot Red Rocket or Rocket Red, whichever.
No, I said Rocket Red. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, Guy Gardner, Batman, Rocket Red, Martian Manhunter. Also in this issue, continuing from a prior story, the Gray Man, who is not a superhero, and with Dr. Fate, and also Captain Marvel, the real Captain Marvel, otherwise known to you as Shazam. Yes, the original Captain Marvel.
And we even get a guest appearance from of Big Barda in there later on.
Big Barda's in here. She is not friggin' happy. Not happy at all.
No,
there's also guest appearances from former President, California Governor, and actor non-extraordinaire Ronald Reagan as President of the United States. That's how far back this book went. And there's a guest shot with Superman in the Oval Office with President Reagan.
Yes,
and
there is.
And a bunch of other stuff going on. So this is a very entertaining and hilarity-filled issue. I know everybody has to remember Batman knocking Guy Gardner. 1 second. The fuck out.
I always wondered how he knocked him out, and it explains it in this issue.
Yeah. Well, it explains it in this issue, but you might remember one of the in recent DC animated history, from the new 52 line of animated movies that they did. Hal Jordan meets Batman. He goes, "Oh my God, you're real." And in the meantime, Batman's willpower obviously overtakes Hal Jordan's willpower, and Batman's wearing his ring.
And the which new 52 movie is that?
Not the B-52s. Go back to watching My Little Pony, Mrs. Hewlett. I think it was Justice League at War, or one of the early ones.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one. I must have missed that one.
It's where they haven't met each other yet. You got HBO Max?
Yeah.
I do not. Otherwise, I can tell you what.
Yeah, you show me.
No, I thought those for work.
I'm gonna borrow it and I'll put it back.
But yeah,
My Little Pony helps me.
but yeah, dude, I love this issue. It was kind of a hodgepodge because I told you last week, and I even talked with a guy at the comic book shop. I went to see the comic book shop the other day, and I talked to the guy up there, and I was buying stuff out of the dollar bin. And he's like, why are you buying this stuff? I'm like, dude, I've been buying a lot of dollar books lately, like Booster Gold and, just crazy crap. Firestorm. I've been buying them out of the dollar box at the antique store and reading them. All the stuff from the 80s. And it's all freaking gold, man. It's just
Yeah, it's
great
all
reading
good.
stuff. All of it.
Give me 1 second.
Uh-oh. But yeah, dude, if y'all have never really looked into some of the 80s stuff while he's on the phone, I've been reading the Booster Gold series now, the first series by Dan Jurgens, and it is absolutely incredible. Just really good stories. Nothing, it's not 80s Swamp Thing or anything. It's not groundbreaking, but if you're talking about just regular, good, fun comics to read, they don't have any kind of crazy message they want to send home. They're just superhero comics. You get to follow Booster as he's, trying to get back in time. One of the issues I read, he's trying to get his arm fixed. Another one, is an early issue I was reading where he's trying to make all of this money. Hey, Trish. But yeah, we're doing a little stuff. But yeah, so Booster's trying to get some money and get set up, and he's got all kind of movie studio, Hollywood contracts he's trying to work out and everything. And at the end of the issue, I read the IRS shows up, and they're there to audit him because they literally don't know who the hell he is, and they want to know where he come from and how he makes all of his money. So the IRS are actually the villains in the end of that book. But yeah, it's a lot of good stuff you can find in the dollar bin if you're not out looking for, crazy amounts of money or, Alan Moore Swamp Thing. Maybe he'll be done with us in just a minute. But yeah, so Justice League International #7. It is by art by McGuire and Gordon, and the story is by Giffen and DeMatteis.
We want to say hi to Trish, friend of the show, and she sent me some buttons. She actually sent me a button of my little logo here.
Oh, sweet. The one with you blowing your mind?
Yep. My mind's always blown. She sent me a couple of Joker buttons. She sent me a Heath Ledger and a Cesar Romero Joker buttons and printed them on little cards.
Oh, cool.
Put the button through the card, and it's got the old 70s Joker comic book logo up top. It's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So those would be going on my leather jacket if I wear it to the convention in November.
I was just rambling while you were on the phone about the fact that I've been picking up a lot of stuff from the 80s, man. It's just so good. And I don't want to sound terrible, but I mean, we think about a lot of comics now. We write them and people are talking about, is this book a solid book? Is it saying something? Is it doing this? Is it doing that? And the thing that's so cool about these 80s books I've been reading, I mean, and it's stuff I never would have read before, but I mean, it's just getting around to, hey, here it is. It's $1. I'm going to read it. They're just, like we're saying, just fun books. They have no real, they're not pushing anything. It's just damn superhero stuff. It's like turning into a cartoon. You watch it, you're done with it, you put it away.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of that stuff was great. I mean, I collected Firestorm through all that stuff. And speaking of Firestorm, there's two companies. One is Mego and one is Figures Toy Company that does the old school 8-inch cloth collectible action figures. And FTC does, I think, a better job like on the costumes and stuff. And they've got so many licenses that they can do like anything. They just announced that they're actually doing a Killer Frost from the old Firestorm 80s comic.
Oh, cool.
So I'm like, cool. That means I'm gonna have to buy a Firestorm and a Killer Frost. But oh well, not till I get my Disco Collar Nightwing though. So I got to get my Disco Collar Nightwing and my Jericho from Teen Titans first. I'm waiting for FTC to actually announce that they're going to do all of the Legion of Superheroes, and then I'll be like, just take my money. Just take my money. Here we go. You know, and it's crazy. So it's a lot of fun stuff. So continue.
Yeah, all right. So that's our cover. This story opens, and like I said, this is right after the classic where Batman has knocked the hell out of Guy Gardner and knocked him unconscious. And it actually explains it here, because this is the part I've never understood about the whole fact that Batman knocks Guy Gardner's ass out with one punch. Is I was like, he's always wearing the ring. So how the hell did Batman even get to him where he could punch him? So I guess Guy Gardner and him, he explains it here, that they get into such a damn argument that he's like, I can take you, Batman. So he takes the ring off like a dumbass and puts it down. And that's how he gets the hell knocked out of him, because he's no longer wearing the ring.
Yeah, it was just like Guy being Guy, you know. It's like, Guy, do you remember you used to be like a high school biology teacher or something? I don't remember what he taught, but he was a school teacher. But he was in a coma when Abin Sur's ring was searching for a replacement, and the ring found 3 people: Hal, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner. But Hal was the closest one in proximity, so that's why Hal got the ring.
That's why Hal. Okay, I got it. So he wakes up. The issue opens, and he's trying to drag his ass up off the floor, and he's looking for his ring. He's like, oh. So I wonder where it is. He gave it to Blue Beetle, he says, and it gets knocked over there, and it goes, of course, underneath the damn computer panels. So he has to climb down there, and Justice League headquarters actually has rats, so we find out, as he chases a rat out underneath the computer and fangs his damn head again, and hits his head so hard he passes out again underneath the computer.
It's COVID-free, boy. It is so COVID-free.
So he passes out, and with his ass unconscious, the story moves to the Gray Man and Dr. Fate, who everyone else is knocked out. You're going to have to explain who the Gray Man is to me, though, because I didn't know. I just know he's obviously a powerful supernatural being.
Yeah, the Gray Man would be DC's version of the Purple Man.
Really? Okay.
Not the same powers, but the same kind of like persona.
Okay.
As you know from reading this issue, the Gray Man was the one human that actually had the nerve to find the actual Lords of Chaos and look upon them, which is a no-no. And they bestowed upon him immortality and these powers, and he took it as a curse, but to them it was a gift, and we'll find out more about that later.
Yeah, because that's where the issue, so here it is, he's actually ranting and raving about this, to Fate, and he doesn't want this, he doesn't understand what the hell's been going on, and Fate sends him somewhere, and then when he wakes up, the Gray Man wakes up, and he's there in front of the Lords of our Order. And they're like, we're going to make an exception out of you unless we address you, and we're going to fix this. And he's upset, and he screams at him about Fate and him there, and they basically tell him to hush. And he keeps going on and on, like you said here, about how he's suffered and he's been punished and everything else. And this is where you said Fate tells him, he says, what you think is was a punishment or curse was never meant to be that. And he says, it was a blessing. He said, but we can take the blessing away, and he literally wants it taken away. He tells the Lord the Lord's order to, and they remove it. And at the end of this last panel here, he's freaking crying, dude, and he turns to ash.
He's crying with
gone.
tears of happiness for getting it
Yeah.
taken away. But he's been immortal so long that he should have been dead like centuries ago.
Yeah.
And falls to ash, and then the Lords of Order and Chaos have a few parting words for Fate, and they just tell Fate to return to your friends for now, and they have some words back and forth, and he just goes back, and the story progresses again from there.
Yeah, he goes back, and when he shows back up, all the Justice League is waking up.
I forgot to mention the Creeper being here
yeah,
too.
I was going to say here's your favorite DC guest star, and you forgot to mention him, the Creeper.
And as this scene starts to break up, Creeper has a great line that made me laugh out loud to Batman. So,
damn it. So yeah, so they're all talking, and Batman asks him, hey, what's going on? And of course, Dr. Fate is kind of like, like he always is, just kind of vague about, hey, this is what's going on. Do you want to, do you want to elaborate? No. Fate just kind of brushes Batman off. No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And they leave. They go all outside, and they're in, out on the main road, and everybody's walking around like everything's going fine. And there's like 10 superheroes over there, all in costume. And they get into a big argument, a little bit. Batman's like, it's your magic and all this. And Fate's like, hey, you'll let me know. I got to go back. There's stuff I got to think about. And Booster Gold's like, yeah, man, have a nice day. And he leaves. And then I'll let you read your Creeper comment.
Are you going to blow that way up? My eyes are bad. Oh, Batman, what? Don't ever change. I love you just the way you are.
Damn it. Yeah, I think I'll toddle along.
Yeah.
So he just leaves. He's only in like five panels. It's it's the little stuff like this that the writers, Mattis and who was the other one, Griffin, were doing, that they know the reader, and they know that a lot of these people have been reading these books for a long time. This is kind of like some of the stuff they do in some of the modern comics, the cartoons, not comics, but modern cartoons, where they play with the viewer because they know that there's enough backstory that you don't need to be filled in with everything. I wish the movies would get this crap right. So Creeper hauls ass, and it just leaves Booster Gold, Batman, and the rest of them as they head back to the damn
bug ship.
The bug ship, whatever is the Beetlemobile or Beetle ship. I can't remember what he calls it.
I think he calls it just the bug.
The bug. So he heads back to the bug.
You'll notice with very slight differences, this is Owlman's ship from the Watchmen.
Yeah, that's where the Owlman was kind of based on Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they head back to the bug ship, and on the way back, Batman's like, who's the leader of the Justice League International, he's like, oh, okay, when we get back to the cave, don't forget, Mr. Miracle, it's your turn for monitor duty. And he's like, monitor duty? Batman's just like, yeah, I told you. He says, I promised Barda that Barda. He says, you're married? And Batman's like, here's your at the bottom. I thought this is funny. He said, in our line of work, that's not exactly a wise move for your wife. And then you can tell it's Miracle Man. He says, my wife could probably take out the Joker with one hand.
Barda could probably come close to taking out Manhunter with one hand too.
Yeah, so it's just funny. So they fly back. But then our story, like I said, it changes again. Now we're about the UN, and here's Maxwell Lord. How long was he in the comics? Because I I was like, whoa, I thought he was a fairly new character. This is a long time ago.
He has been in the comic for quite a while. Like he started like in this. He was a new character to me. I don't know if he was like a rehashed character or if this was one of DeMatteis's new characters for this big long drawn out story arc. But yeah, he started by like handpicking like the members and going through, and what he's been doing here is he basically, without John's knowledge, is videotaping the conversation he's having with him so he can like show the UN delegation, because he's trying to get the Justice League sanctioned, not just for the United States, but for the entire world.
Well, and that's the whole thing of this story. And then I was like, so Maxwell Lord is going to Martian Manhunter about it. And as we get later on in the story, the way they're planning it is that the Justice League will be like its own state, but they'll be UN peacekeepers. There'll be a UN peacekeeping force.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're sanctioned, they're able to move in and out of countries without any kind of rigmarole.
Yeah, they don't have to have our State Department talk to somebody else's State Department to get them in and out of the country. They can just go where they want.
Yeah,
but for the most part, could any country really stop people like this?
Well, see, and that's the
I
whole
don't
thing.
think
They say later on in the issue, we get to it, they say, you could defeat any army in the world anyway by yourselves. At least this gives us some input as to what you're doing. And, they kind of go back and forth as, whether that input is good or bad. This is almost, thinking about it now, this is almost like the whole crap with the Superhero Registration Act, that kind of damn thing. But this is what, 20 years before the Superhero Registration Act in Marvel?
Yeah, I wonder how Marvel got the idea.
Yeah. So there's Lord, and he's talking to everybody. He's going to take Martian Manhunter and let's go to our office so we can talk some more. And when he gets to the office, lo and behold, here's another guest star. There's
Oberon.
Yeah.
Mr. Miracle's right hand midget.
Yeah.
They're called little people.
Yeah.
I just know he's short.
Yeah, his helping little person. But is he working with Miracle Man at this time, or is he off on his own?
He's in and out. The problem is Barda hates Oberon.
Yeah, I can't remember why, but yeah, I knew she did.
Because he interferes a lot.
That's why. So he's just always there. He's a damn heel, and she hates him for it.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. So there's Martian Manhunter, and he's like, "Oh God, it's Oberon. So what are you doing here?" And we leave Martian Manhunter to go back to Justice League headquarters.
Yeah, and that was a smart segue too. They bring in Oberon in the last panel of the last page to segue right to Scott Free and Barda.
Yep. So here's Miracle Man making a call to his wife, and he tells her
she seems so sweet.
Yes, she does. She's he's got 24 hours of the monitor duty, so he can't see her for 24 hours, and she's screaming in the damn phone so hard he's got to pull it back from his ear. And she's just ranting and raving in her damn bunny slippers and crushes the phone.
Yeah, well, she is one of Darkseid's Furies, so
yeah. So, yeah, she's furious.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. We didn't discuss anything. I didn't think you should join the league. She's just ranting and raving.
Mhm.
But so she crushes the phone, and when she crushes the phone, Scott just puts his head down. He's like, "Oh my God, she's going to kill me." And we see that Guy Gardner is still knocked his ass out underneath the computer there at the top panel.
Mhm.
And here comes Guy Gardner, who's flying in.
No, that's
And he-
Hal.
Oh, Hal, not Guy Gardner. Yeah, Guy Gardner's still knocked out. Here comes Hal flying in because he's looking for Guy Gardner.
You got to give him a talking to.
Yeah, but nobody knows where his ass is. Um, and so he gets there, and Guy finally starting to wake up. And of course, now the panel, now we flip back. But this is where Maxwell Lord is actually recording the entire conversation between Oberon, Martian Manhunter himself, as they're
Yeah,
talking.
I actually, now that I'm seeing it, I actually don't think it was recorded. I think it was CCTV to the delegation room.
It may be,
Yeah.
but so we know somebody's watching it.
Mhm.
And they're, of course, they're back and forth as to why this would be a good idea for the Justice League to be sanctioned by the UN. Martian Manhunter is, he's kind of for it, but he's kind of against it because he thinks it'll hamper him. He doesn't want them interfering. He doesn't want to seem, biased towards one country to another.
Yeah.
And then here's Ronnie as we flash to the White
Well,
House.
now, I don't know, Superman.
Well, and
I'll
here's the
have to
thing.
ask Nancy first.
He says he's got to talk to Nancy. Yeah, I've got to talk to Nancy. It's like, of course. But he asks Superman, he thinks, hey, is this a good idea? And Superman actually gives his blessing to the president about he thinks that the Justice League being a member of the UN would be a good thing. And after he hears this from Superman that it's a good thing, he says he's going to talk with Nancy. I do like at the end there where he says Superman tells him he's going to, and he says, "Thank you very much." He says, "You're a good American." And Superman tells him, "I try."
I try, Mr. President.
I mean, dude, that is like perfect Superman. I don't know.
And the original Captain Marvel.
Yes, here's Captain Marvel, Shazam, Billy Batson. I read this today. I told my wife, I wish I had his damn metabolism.
Don't we all?
I mean, he's flying back to the Justice League headquarters, and he's going to try and find out what's going on. So he flies back, and he's debating on whether joining the Justice League and all this. He's thinking about it. Hey, this is going to be cool. I'm going to have to think this over. And if you remember the little middle panel here, I'm going to have to think this out over some Twinkies and milk.
Well, we not only want to have his metabolism, but we also want to be able to be 12 years old so we can just hang out at home and read comic books too.
Exactly. There's
Oh
so
wait,
many
I can't hang out at home and read comic books. Never mind.
Damn it. So he shows up and he's like, "Wow, it's the Green Lantern. Maybe we're finally getting rid of Guy." So they want Guy Gardner to go, and he goes in there and he starts talking to Hal. He's like, "Hey, I'm the original, Green Lantern," and they get to talking. And he says, "I dropped time to talk to Guy and tell him clean up his act before he changes." And Mr. Miracle's like, "Yeah, I'll tell you in later when he comes out." So we don't know what the hell's going on with Guy. He's like, "I'll tell you later." And Mr. Miracle's like, "Hey, so did you give him a lecture?" He's like, "No." He says, he's just like, he's been so tame. He thanked me for dropping by and everything. So Captain Marvel's just shocked. He's like, "Are we talking about the same Guy Gardner?" As best we can figure him out, the bump on his head is fixed him. Well, I think you better see for yourself. And he goes there and he's reading Cosmopolitan. And he's sitting right at my life.
Just a side note. When this volume started, they had an amazing lineup, like in the first issue, and I was so excited to see Captain Marvel in the Justice League. I'm like, that's awesome. We don't need Superman. We have the world's mightiest mortal.
Yeah.
And I go, this is great. But the sad thing is, it only lasted
7 issues.
7 issues, because this being issue 6. So it went from Justice League to this issue. They changed the title to Justice League International, because that's, as you can understand from our conversation, that's where JLA launched from. But Captain Marvel has to bow out. He has to take care of some things. He has to drink some chocolate milk and eat some Twinkies, and appear in a couple of Hostess commercials in like the front of the comic. Oh wait, that was the 70s. Different.
Damn it.
And and this made me sad that he was leaving. I go, so they put him in here just so it was basically, we got to throw him in something. We have to renew the license again.
Yeah.
And they did it by, having him in like the first 7 issues. And the last issue, he apparently from, when you get to read the whole issue, you learn that Captain Marvel got his ass handed to him. And he was recovering, which is why Captain Marvel wasn't with Martian Manhunter at the UN. Because Martian Manhunter wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be Captain Marvel.
Huh. So that was in the previous issue?
Yeah. That was in 6, yeah.
Dang. Well, seeing that the whole thing is it started out, following what you're saying there, it started out more as a traditional Justice League, and I don't want to sound terrible, but by the end of this issue, a lot of people bow out, and it's more like, I don't want to say it's the B team, but it's like the B team. But, everybody gets to, that's just part of the fun part of the book. But yeah, so he shows up. They go in there and show him Guy, who's like singing and having a great time. And Billy's like, oh my God, what in the hell is going on? How long will this last? They're like, I don't know, but we're going to try to enjoy it while we can.
Mm-hmm.
And now we flash back to the news at 11. And here they're talking about, other.
Now, let me just interject quick. The anchorman trying to do the interview with this guy that only speaks one line of English and just repeats it over and over again for comedic value is Jack Ryder, aka the Creeper.
Yep, that's the Creeper. Yep.
So Creeper had to leave the Justice League because he had to go back to work.
Yeah, he had to go back to work.
Yep.
That's the hot seat. That's right. He was a TV reporter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're talking, giving the interview, and he's talking to, what's the country this guy rules? You remember?
We'll just call it COVID Stan.
What kind of?
Whatever. This is a different universe. So yeah, he's like, it'd be my pleasure to be here, Mr. Ryder. That's all he keeps saying. It's being my pleasure to be here. You think we could get somebody that speaks this guy's language so we can get him to say something else?
Can we get an interpreter, please?
Exactly. Damn it. So when we get back, Ryder's talking about it, and they, it's still going on, and then we see somebody's watching this TV record, this TV broadcast, and the computer comes through, and it's like, taking in consideration the hostility of the media to the United Nations. Do you think they'll accept the proposal for the Justice League to be the international? And the computer's like, no. And it's like, is there any recommendation? And the computer just says, change the odds. And we, when it says change the odds, we see something floating over the earth. And lo and behold, it's some kind of damn satellite that unleashes this laser beam on the earth that just starts crushing across the ocean, and it's destroying everything.
Yeah, it's just like, it's I mean, If I was Admiral Akbar now, I would say it's a trap.
Yeah, this is like the damn laser from the Justice League cartoon where was it they have the spaceship up there that goes off and everybody's like, oh my god, you got a floating death ray.
Yeah.
Well, the alarm goes off and Mr. Miracle and everybody's like, oh god, we've got to head back. And Guy Gardner's like, hey, I'll watch I'll go on monitor duty for you while y'all head off. And while they take off to go to the alert with the laser, it will flash back to the UN as Martian Manhunter is leaving Maxwell Lord, who's like, hey, I don't know how much more I've got to do to get this through committee. And then we could see the damn lasers just tearing everything up. And Batman and the rest of the Justice League go to Star Labs, I think it is. And they're watching it as the laser is heading across it's already made it across California and it's into the desert now. And he's like, oh my God, we've got to get up there and shut this thing down. So, he says, what can we do to get up there? And Star Labs is like, yeah, we can get you up there. We've got a way. Star Labs just happens to own a space shuttle, by the way, that they can launch in just a few minutes. So they head up there, and when they get to the damn satellite, I did like the fact that they get into the satellite and everybody gets out. First they attack it with some missiles that are on the bottom of this damn space shuttle, which don't do anything. And then they all get out and they're in spacesuits. I don't think I've ever read a comic book where the superheroes are in spacesuits.
Nope, they just put fish bowls on their head and swim out into space. Because what could happen to your bare skin in space? Nothing.
All right, I could see. All right, but now here's the thing. Booster Gold probably doesn't need the damn spacesuit because he's got the force field around him.
Yeah, he's got the Legion flight ring, so he doesn't need one.
Yeah, he's got a Legion flight ring and he's got Brainiac's force field, Brainiac 5's force field, so he doesn't need one.
Martian Manhunter doesn't need one.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter can breathe. He can pretty much breathe in space. He doesn't need a spacesuit, but he's in a spacesuit. I'm trying to think who else really needs one here. Black Canary, of course, needs one. Blue Beetle needs one. Does Mr. Miracle really need one?
Yes.
You think he does? Okay. All right. So two of them don't need the damn spacesuit, and they head out in these clunky ass spacesuits. They're not even like futuristic style spacesuits. These are like real astronaut spacesuits. They have to walk around like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing too was the missiles that they launched. Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle, had tinkered around with the weapon system to basically, tune everything up to the 10th power. Little Tim the Toolman Taylor. and then they hit the device and it's like blink and nothing. And here we are as this device apparently has just launched 101 Dalmatian missiles at the clunky spacesuit people.
Yeah. It's like a million of them. It's crazy. Yeah, and they're going everywhere. They're not even in the same direction. And Martian Manhunter reaches out to grab one. And he's like, hey, look, I know what we can do to shut it down. And he manages to throw one of the little missiles back and, short circuits out the satellite. And when he short circuits out the satellite, he realizes that or not he, but Booster Gold realizes, hey, there's like a camera up there and it's all recording us.
Oh, that's Batman.
Well, Booster sees the camera and then Batman heads towards it.
Yeah, Booster sees the camera and Batman goes to grab it.
Yeah, Batman goes to grab it, and when he does, it goes off and electrocutes his ass.
Lights him up like a Christmas tree.
It does. Rips his damn suit apart and everything. And it's like, oh my God, Batman's shredded. He's dead. They're like, holy crap, Batman's dead. So they, Booster Gold and everybody flies over to him to check on Batman. And he's like, I'm alive. How am I alive? And of course, Batman's pissed off now. He's like, how am I alive? Get back to the ship. Let's get back to the ship, make sure everything will be okay. And now we see TVs at the bottom. All of these different countries are seeing this broadcast of the Justice League as they fight this damn satellite and try and shut it down in outer space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you can look at it and tell it's all different countries that are seeing this. Well, the damn satellite's still going off, and Scott Free, something clicks, and he's like, hold on, I've got an idea. And of course, they're telling him, don't go into it. But Scott keeps going, and he manages to go into the laser beam. And we're like, oh God, he's fried. Of course, Blue Beetle thinks he's dead, and he's screaming at him. But then when we get to the next page, we realize nothing's happening. That Mr. Miracle is still fine, even though he said, hey, I'm the dude that, that deals in miracles. And he dreams, and he keeps moving toward the source of the laser. And when he gets there, he realizes there's a camera there. And he understands, and he says, hi, Father, help me, as he moves towards the camera and manages to shut the laser off. So he gets the laser shut off before it goes to the thing. And then everybody's so excited, hey, he did it. They thought he was dead. Then he shows back up, and they're like, oh my God, Scott's okay. And they all get into the spaceship and head back.
Well, they don't call him Mr. Miracle for nothing.
Exactly. So they head back, and the story flashes back to the UN, and all the people at the UN have been watching all of this amazing footage of the Justice League as they do battle with this satellite. And there is a representative from the US and a representative from Russia. And they're like, hey, everybody's like, hey, we're trying to get this on board. If you two guys, your countries will actually get behind this and put this meeting forward, then the Justice League can become, an international organization of peacekeepers. And they agree to it on two conditions. The U.S. wants Captain Atom involved, and Russia wants Red Rocket.
Rocket Red.
Or Rocket Red to be in there. So after they make their agreements, they talk with Martian Manhunter about it, and he's finally, hey, I really don't like this, but if this is what it's going to take, we'll get it. And then there on the little bottom, we can see a little comparison of the power levels if you want to. I used to love that in the old, they did like the DC Who's Who, and Marvel or DC Universe, and then Marvel Who's Who. And
No.
Power levels.
Nope, it was Marvel Universe and DC Who's Who.
Who's Who?
Who's Who, yeah.
I loved those, man. I used to sit there and read them all the time. The art was so cool, and you could read all the histories and everything. I wish they collect those in a big ass binder. I would buy those. Just one like an omnibus.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to do the yearly updates. Those are so cool. So anyway, they at the bottom we get to see the power levels between Rocket Red and Captain
Atom.
Then at the end, we find out that the Justice League has been approved. The UN is going to let them become the Justice League International. And so they're all talking about it. Hey, this is going to be great for us. And here's your sad part. Shazam's like, hey, this is cool, but I don't know if I've got enough time in my life to be a member of the International Justice League. It's going to be a lot of stuff, but I'm going to have to, maybe step out. Here's our last page where they're actually being approved. Superman says something to him, but we never find out what he says.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all wanting to make their breaks for it as Oberon comes in and talks to him. What's funny here is, so Shazam's like, hey, I'm going to leave. And Guy Gardner comes in He's like, hey, I'm a little tired. I'm sorry I'm late. I didn't sleep. I was up till 3 last night watching this wonderful evangelist. He's like, he has such interesting things to say about the power of positive thinking.
I was up till 3 a.m. watching Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen, yeah, the power of positive thinking. So they're like, well, hey, we're gonna. Shazam says, hey, I'm gonna have to leave. I've got a lot of responsibilities. I don't know if I can do it. And Guy Gardner gets upset. He's like, oh my God, are you gonna leave? Yeah, I'm gonna leave, but we don't want you to leave. And Shazam tells him, hey, look, buddy, I'll stop back in. I'll come back by. I'll be in and out all the time. And Guy Gardner makes him promise.
You promised to visit?
Exactly.
I'm going to miss my best friend.
That bump on his head has done wonders for his personality, I guess. And then even here, Batman tells them all that, I think Martian Manhunter should actually be the leader of the Justice League International because he looks at the Earth as one race as opposed to all these different people. And he doesn't want to be in the spotlight as the leader of an international organization.
Yeah.
So Batman bows out. Shazam leaves. And Maxwell Lord takes them out to meet their public, and you get to see the whole Justice League International. Of course, Batman's still there for right now, and Shazam. But there's their lineup at the end, and it's like, poof, Justice League International. I thought it was a really, really fun read.
Yeah, and so we've got Martian Manhunter, who will now be the leader. Which,
Yep.
And it's not the first time he's been the leader,
No.
even in like recent history, where they went more into relying on his telepathy powers to keep everybody in constant like telepathic communication.
Yeah.
Batman wants to be in the shadows. You have Canary. So Martian Manhunter was one of the original founders of the Justice League. So
yeah, it was him, Wonder Woman, Flash,
Aquaman,
Green Lantern, and Hawkman, right?
No, Aquaman.
Yes, 5. Aquaman, okay.
You got Mr. Miracle, Guy Gardner, Rocket Red, who is in the pocket of the Soviet Union at that time.
Yeah.
The Berlin Wall hadn't fallen yet. You got Captain Atom, who is in the pocket of the United States government. Shazam is leaving. Oberon is, sidekick to Mr. Miracle, but he's in Maxwell Lord's pocket.
Yep.
One, because he can probably fit in it. And then, of course, you have our two favorite ones, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold.
Dude, I really was shocked when I read the Blue Beetle. When I not read Blue Beetle, I've read a bunch of Blue Beetle, but I like the Silver Age stuff. I've got. I haven't read a lot of the '80s stuff. And like I said, I just randomly picked up. One, I like Dan Jurgens. I like his art. His art's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Dan Jurgens. His art to me looks like, I don't want to say a less refined, but John Byrne, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's got that same kind of round, that very round, I don't say super style, not stylized, but very stylized, but still recognizable art form. I mean, just absolutely all around great artist. And I'm like, hey, it's a bunch of Dan Jurgens stuff I haven't read. What could be wrong with it? And they're so much fun. You were actually talking about what I want to read next week. This is going to be, I'll tell you, this is another person that I think fits in the same kind of group. And I picked up a bunch of these issues too at the antique store, but he reminds me of John Byrne as well. And I don't know if you remember, but when John Byrne when he relaunched Superman, at the same time, he started over Superman #1 and John Byrne took over, right? Well, the original Superman title changed its numbering and its name, or didn't change its number, it changed its name. It went from Superman
Adventures.
to the Adventures of Superman.
Yep.
And Jerry Ordway took over as the writer and artist. And like, I'm gonna say like 440, you know, we read that one, but it's just a random issue. I picked them up, a handful of them, and it's just Superman by Jerry Ordway. He's so incredible. I mean, I was looking through them and like, man, these are great looking books.
Yep.
And like I said, those three artists, writers, all to me are so similar in their own, you know, they're different, but they're very similar in style. And they're just great 80s artists. Ordway, wasn't Ordway recently writing Superman, and then Bendis took him over, took the story over when they relaunched it?
Yeah. Where he destroyed Superman, Superman's son.
Yeah.
What else? Legion of Superheroes.
And see, what I don't understand is, and I'm pretty sure it was Ordway that was writing it before Bendis took it over. It was a great title, and it had some terrifying stuff in there. The crap they did with Mr. Miracle, Mr. Mistleplex was just mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was terrifying. And you know, Bendis comes in and he changed everything. And I'm like, it just goes to, I don't want to sound terrible, it goes to one of the things is that book was critically acclaimed, and you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bring Bendis in.
Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Fuck you, Bendis. Go back to Marvel. They like putting out shit. Sorry, Thomas.
Oh my God, can't say that. But see, now Bendis did an absolutely incredible run on a number of books I've read. Dude, his Avengers stuff was good. His Daredevil stuff was absolutely incredible. You know, I thought that, you know, the question would be like his perfect character to write in the DC universe, or Batman, and they put him on Superman. And I was like, okay, this is going to be cool, but it just went off the deep end. And what I don't understand is the book was so good, it was so much fun, and then it just went downhill.
Yeah, it was just terrible.
But I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Action Comics 440. Let me make sure. Let me look it up. Or not Action Comics, Adventures of Superman.
Okay, maybe not everybody can do it, but I can do it. See, I got Bing.
Yep. I just picked that one up the other day. You can buy one off eBay for $1.24.
You want to share the
The image? Yeah, I'll bring it up right here.
Cleaning off his junky car. I'm going to go to the car wash.
Can I go with you?
To the car wash? Okay, I mean,
But I need to talk to you. Can I just be me?
yeah, baby.
Okay.
So, boys,
Oh Lord, hold on. There's a new thing here.
our baby's going to get in.
Okay.
So Chrome
Now that
tab.
I can ask it, we're pregnant. I've been waiting for this day for a very long time, and I'm just really excited.
So, baby, what's going on?
Nothing much. I just
All right, it's thinking.
It's thinking.
stressed about school.
Yeah. It said it. Oh God, it says it's not responding. Hold on, don't crash on me.
What's going on with your school?
Well, not really, because I know mommy's had a lot going on recently, so I just didn't want to.
Hold on. Pause it for just a sec. You still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Give it just a sec. It says StreamYard's not responding on me.
She go to bed late.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Have you noticed she's been eating more?
Dude.
Darren is asking a lot of questions. Does she really know that mommy is pregnant? Or is she just being a typical nosy Darren? Yeah, this is a nice car wash. I love getting a good clean wash.
So Thomas will return
Have you noticed
shortly.
anything? I don't know. Did you have that on?
And I was just looking for a meme that was relevant to Bendis, but I can't find it. So there you are.
Yeah, it took just a minute.
I'm super excited to find out Mommy was pregnant. Right now, I'm picturing Mommy.
Yeah, you froze, so I kicked you from studio.
I'm hoping the name maybe because I asked to be named Diaz Dylan, and they're like, oh no, we don't like that name. So then Derek goes on Spotify and says, why don't we Diaz Dylan?
You want me to pull it up?
And they're like, I love that name.
I got it right here.
Okay.
So they ended up putting that as his middle
There it
name.
goes.
But okay, I thought there's a mistake maybe, and I'm really excited about that.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's fine.
Classic Superman.
I didn't want to ask that.
Yeah, I mean, Burn Norway Jank. I just picked it up the other day. So this is early, because I think the last issue of the regular Superman title was 424, if I remember right, because that's the second part of the Alan Moore, who I was talking about earlier. The Alan Moore, whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and that's because it was part in Action Comics, and then it was part in Superman, which was the last issue.
Yeah,
that's
back
the
when I
story.
was actually collecting Superman. Yeah.
Dude, I love this kind of Superman. I mean, just classic Superman. He looks like
I don't like the lightning, the way he drew like the lightning there, though, because this is just like the classic pose of Superman flying in front of the lightning to protect something. So
yeah. But I did. I went to the antique store, and I don't have a whole bunch of these. I did at one time, but I think I sold them for some reason. And it would have been years ago. And it's one of the things where you read them and you're like, okay, do I want to keep these? Do I not? Whatever. And then I saw them, and I'm like, God, this is all Ordway, and they're $1 a piece. So I just picked up a whole run of them. And I mean, they look like they've been read once, put in a bag, and put away for years. So,
I did
they're worth
read,
$1.
Because apparently I have close to 20 between Marvel and DC of the Marvel Essentials and the DC Showcase Presents black and white 500-page reprints.
Yeah.
Like the news, like the cheaper than newsprint print.
Yeah.
But I was reading that they had actually done a DC Showcase Presents and basically covered all of Booster Gold.
Really? That would be cool.
And it's not very, if you can find it, it's not very often that you can find a reprint, not just in one volume, but a reprint of a big chunk of like one of the 80s comics from like DC or Marvel. You find a lot of the Bronze Age stuff, but not a lot of whatever age they're calling, 80s on up.
Yeah, it's it's not copper, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it copper? Okay.
Yeah, copper. It's like, great, you named my childhood after a penny.
Damn it. I just don't. I don't remember these. That's like when I first started really reading Superman comics and remembering them. As far as I went to the store and bought them. One of the issues I always remember is like the very first one I read, which was and I think it was by Burns still. I'd have to go look. But it's Superman 26. It's the one that has like a straw doll on the cover with the pins in it. It's a little Superman doll. And it's an invasion storyline. And there's a magic user or something in there, of course, that's torturing Superman. But and we can kind of allude to it because anybody that's listening to this channel should know what the hell we're talking about. If you remember, this is the time when Superman was having so many issues that he couldn't deal with it, and he was always tired. Why does Superman get tired? We don't know. We find out he's going home and he's going to bed, and he's getting so upset he's actually waking up and sleepwalking and dressing up as Gangbuster, and he's going around fucking Metropolis beating the hell out of people as Gangbuster. And they're like, well, who the hell is this Gangbuster guy? We can't stop him because he's Superman. He's not Gangbuster. Gangbuster was doing something else.
Yeah, and then somebody actually picked up the mantle of Gangbuster.
Yeah. Because Superman finally he like comes to. I can't remember the issue now, but somebody like manages to like shoot him or something and rips his suit open, and the Superman shield is underneath it, and then Superman comes to and he's like, oh my God, what am I doing? And then he has to go, he calls that 1-800 helpline and talks to somebody who cares. What you looking up?
No, I'm just saying hello to our friends over at Lost in Comics that their stream just launched for this evening. So I was just giving a big shout out from Creators Outlet, OK Boomer, and the Seanzilla Art Show.
Cool.
So
yeah, well, I'll get it over to you, and I'll decide whether I want to read the paper copy I just bought or read the digital copy of Superman 440.
Well, I'll be reading the digital copy. I would say, get your dollar's worth and read the actual paper copy. No, My Little Pony. Wake up with a horse head in your bed. What the bleep? So that's going to be next week. Until then, peace, love, and read some comic books. Since we're going off the air, if you're still in the mood for more comic book talk, head over and visit our friends Chris and hashtag the new guy. I don't know the new guy's name. Over at Lost in Comics on YouTube. They put on a great show as well. And since we're going off the air, I condone you going over now to watch it because we're out of here. We'll catch you later.